In this video, we will learn what it takes to code a button in React Native and what tools you need, specifically the useState hook. And also I will explain all the code that is needed line by line and explain the pitfalls to avoid if you're just coming from JavaScript. This is the code we have so far. It has 2 lines of text and I want to add some functionality. By that I mean a button, and I want to be able to keep track of the times it's been pressed and also show an alert when it has been pressed. And we're going to go over what frameworks you need on React Native to achieve that. And let's start. I just Googled React Native button and this is what came up. So here we have some documentation on the button. There's some code examples. There's another example. Good luck with that. And that's about it. So we will copy this code right here and paste it to our Vim file. I have the Vim file open. So I'm gonna make us some space here and paste it. There we go. And I'm gonna write it. And the reason that is happening is because there's no onPress. This is kind of failing. So I'm gonna comment that out. Comment this out too. I'm gonna write it. And there we go. So the first thing I want to do is actually when I click it, I want it to do something. So I'm gonna fix this line on press. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add like a function, a lambda function that will just do an alert. I went back to the button demo. So when you click on this, something comes up like an alert. And I want to add that functionality. So if you go look for the press me, which would be this one. There's a button. So on press is calling this lambda function. So we need to copy and paste it in our code. I'm gonna copy it right now. So we're gonna uncomment the line that's on press and paste it right. This one and paste it right here. And I believe we need to add some libraries maybe. Yeah, let's add it. It's not doing anything. Just by looking at this, the imports, we have the style sheet, button, view, and text. So the only thing that's left is alert and platform. So I'm going to copy that. So I copied and pasted the imports for the alert and the button right here. So in our app that we have, when we hit that button, press me, it calls on this function, show alert. I thought it was like an API that just shows the alert automatically, but that is not the case. So this is actually a function. It's this function. It's gonna sort out if it's a web platform, the device itself, or it's like an Android device. So depending on which is what, it's gonna run a function or another. So if it's the web, it's gonna run this one. If not, it's gonna run this. So let's say it's an Android device, it's gonna run this one. If it's just a web, it's gonna run this one. So I copied and pasted that function right here, and I wrote it, and there we go, ta-da. So we have the alert that runs. So the simple button was pressed, and that was the message right here. The next thing I want to do is maybe change this function so it calls another function. So what I want to do is every time I press a button, to keep a count, like a text, like this is the times you have pressed the button. So let's add the text first. Probably the easiest thing would be just to change the from React Native or Hello World into like this is the times you have press a button. This is the number of times you have pressed the button, and then add like a colon at the end with a variable that should be. So I'm going to write this. There we go. And if you didn't know any better, you would want to make a constant. Let's do it. Let's do it the wrong way first, and let's see what happens. So you would make a constant, like a global variable here, which is count equals 0, and every time you do on press, the count goes up. So let's kind of try to do that. So I'm going to start off by setting a global variable. So it's going to be let global counter equals 0. And that will be our global variable. So I'm going to make a function. And I'm going to use this syntax right here to recreate another function that will set the counter up. So it will increment it. So I'm going to call it function. And I'm going to call it set counter. And we're going to put nothing in there. And then curly braces. So anytime we call this function, it's going to do global counter equals 1 plus global counter. There we go. And then from there, we need to do, so I added one more line to the function. It's show alerts. So when you save it, I'm gonna save it, and once you reload, you see automatically the localhost pop-up comes up. And the reason is because it's 1. It automatically runs it once and sets the counter to 1. So I'm gonna tell it to okay. And now I actually added to like a little the global counter here. So I'll go over it right now. So if you scroll down to where the text is, right here, I did it right here. So it's 0. So when I click it, it should 1 make the pop-up, which is not doing. 2 have this 0 turn to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And the reason it's not working is because we need to use hooks, specifically the useState. This will trigger recomposition in React Native. So anytime this special function gets called, it's going to redraw everything, and with a safe state, it's going to keep the global counter, like it'll keep it refresh every time. It won't get like erased in memory. If you look at I googled useState for React Native. So basically we need this line. The state would be the global counter, so it'd be set global counter, useState, we leave actually state as it is, and the initial state for us would be 0. So let's copy and paste this and put in our code. We need to clean up this code before we copy and paste it, so I'm going to delete this. We don't need this one. And yeah, so we're going to copy and paste that code, and it will be in here. I added it here. Now we need to change state to count here, count, and set count here, count. Initial state will be 0 because that's where it starts. And yeah. So now that we have the useState, we need it up here to import it. So make sure you have it imported in this line. From here we need to, since we deleted the set counter function, we need to call it, and we actually need to call it here. So there's an error here, and the reason we have an error is this, in the set counter parentheses, it's calling it right now. So we don't need to do that, and it's going to like an infinite loop. Now, since we deleted this variable, we need to replace it with this one. This is what we want to say. So let's do that. There we go. And here's our code. So if we start hitting it, it works now. Beautiful.